Right, well, guys, thank you for all being pretty much bang on time. So thank you very much. So today, hello, Dan. So today is going to be recorded. We've got quite a load of stuff to go through. So this isn't news to yourself, but obviously when you registered for the webinar, there's a nice little question on there saying, what were you struggling with at the moment? What can we kind of help you with on that side of things? So we've gone through and made a list of basically covering as much as we possibly can do in this hour about that topic. So we've got EXP Royalty joining us. We've got Holly Price joining the room. There we go. So I've made a list through covering off as many topics as we possibly can do to make sure everyone gets as much value from today as we possibly can do. So about 80% of all the things, all the answers that came back to ourselves were all based around lead generation. So it was very, very, very heavily weighted in the lead generation direction, of which the other bits were based around sort of fee and conversion. So as you might imagine, about 80% of today is all going to be based around lead generation into business. That's kind of what everyone is struggling with slightly. So that's where we're going to put most of our focus on that side of things. So, right, let's get things kicking off, shall we? Let me just close that. So this is designed to be interactive, believe it or not. So I don't want you guys on mute the whole time. I was going to do some slides, but slides are really boring. So I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible. Your headset is good, by the way, Holly. You look like you're working in air traffic control.
Thanks.
So question for you all. If you go into the chat, which is right around here, give yourself a rating out of 10 about how good you are at being an estate agent. You don't have to be modest. If you think you're 11 out of 10, give yourself 11 out of 10. If you think you're a 5 out of 10. So this is actually the doing. So viewings, valuation, negotiation, all that stuff. Vendor care, 8, 8.5, solid 9.5. Very modest there, Dan. Well done. If no one gives himself an 11, I'll be disappointed. So lots of 8s, 9.5, 8, 8.5, etc. Good. Okay. Not a bad place to start. 7/8. Cool. I always think whenever everyone says to you, give yourself a rating out of 10, 7.5 is like a safe place to go. That's kind of like not braggy too much, but not bad. Right. So next question for you all. How well known are you in your town? So if I walked up the high street in York, for example, in Holly's case, and said, name an estate agent, give yourself a rating out of 10 about how well known you are in your local area. We've gone from 6 to 2. That's a bit depressing. 2. Okay. 4 or 5. Okay. 7. Okay. It's not bad done. 6, 8. Cool. Okay. So 4-ish. So generally what we're saying then is that what we're looking at is your estate agency skills are up here. We were like a 7, 8, 9 out of 10, 9.5 if you're down. Whereas with regard to how well known you are in your local town, we were like 4, 5, 3 in that sort of ballpark sort of direction. So for me, from the outside looking in, why spend a load of time trying to get you from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10? That's like a 10% gain, roughly speaking. When you got you over here, we were a 3 out of 10 that we can triple up. That's kind of a really, really big gain we can make on that side of things. So that's probably where most of your issues are, if we're being blunt about it, because you guys are all very good estate agents, but some of you, your business will be delivering you the leads and the sort of stuff you want effectively, and in other situations it won't be. So today's going to be mostly based around how we can structure things so you can get those leads in. You can show everyone how amazing you are at selling properties and listing properties and vendor care and all that sort of stuff. So that is going to be sort of the aim of today, I would say. Right, so question for you. So answers in the chat. Let's make this very two-way. What's the average number of estate agents that you compete against, do you think, in your town in the UK? 40? Blimey, a lot of agents in York, apparently. 110, even more. Magella, 10. Okay, bit of a range here. 5, 20. So the average for the UK is about 12. So any one time, you're competing against 12 agents. I appreciate there's always like 1 or 2 tenuous ones here or there that kind of do whatever it may be. Okay, so if I walked and spoke to someone in your town, how many estate agents do you think they could name? So I said, hi, Mrs. Jones, name 3 estate agents. 5, 6, 3, 8, 3 or 4. Cool, a lot of you actually got it right. 3 is the correct answer. So you're against 12 estate agents on average. and the public can name 3, we see our problem there. We are 1 in 4 chance of being called out just from the average person. So what we're trying to get through is how people can know, like, and trust you as the local estate agent. So what we're trying to get to here is things like marketing touch points, for example, are going to be your best friends. So again, let's keep the quiz going. So how many marketing touch points do you think you need before someone knows, likes, and trusts you? So how many times do they see you? 11. I've done this rodeo before. Tony's ahead of the curve here. 7, 11, 4. Like that a lot, Tony. You're going to be on mute for this next bit because you know what's coming next. Right, so 11 marketing touch points. They need to see you 11 times. That could be a board, it could be your bad driving, it could be a leaflet, it could be whatever it may be. So you see you 11 times before they're like, Louise, I recognize you. I've seen you before. I've seen your face somewhere. Okay, but that is one touch of it. The other part of it is 7 hours of content. So for someone, if they binge on you for 7 hours, so what we should be able to do is I should be able to come onto Holly's Facebook profile, social media, YouTube channel, wherever it may be, and be like, Holly's awesome. I want to sit down for the next 4 hours and watch videos of Holly talk about properties and estate agency and all that sort of stuff. They should be able to do it. So 4 hours worth of content. The really good thing about nowadays, makes me sound really old when I say that, is that your brain doesn't know the difference between real life and digital. So for example, I could have a video call with Holly 11 times and spend 4 hours on video calls with Holly. We could meet in real life and I'm like, Holly, nice to see you, hug, kisses, how are you, sort of thing, even though we've never met. So what we're going to look to is take advantage of that as much as we possibly can do, because your brain doesn't know the difference between real life and video. So we're going to take full advantage of that. And the final part of that is 4 different locations. So bang on, Tony, with your 7, 11, 4. 4 different locations. That could be real life, things like door knocking or see you in Tesco's, for example. It could be a leaflet, it could be a for sale board, it could be your branded car, it could be your social media, it could be a video, etc., etc. Now, the kicker is we don't know where people are looking. We don't know whether they're Mrs. Instagram or Mr. Facebook or TikTok, wherever it may be. So therefore, you need to hedge your bet as much as you possibly can do across those platforms. That's real life, online, and offline as well, because you don't know where people are looking. So therefore, you as a business need to be absolutely everywhere. So answers in the chat, who thinks they are getting that amount of touch points through to the public at the moment? Okay, I kind of presumed that no might be the answer there. No. 30%, okay. That's still probably a no then, James. Yeah, so I got some no's in there. Welcome, Scott. Welcome, Nicholas. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so lots of no's. So that is where we need to get with the amount of marketing we are getting out at the moment. Cool. So how can we get better known in a shorter period of time as possible? Well, option number 1 is to shrink your core area down. So Holly, I'm going to use you as an example here because you're right in front of me. Instead of covering the whole of York, for example, and them seeing one bit of marketing from Holly every 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever it may be, Holly could go, I'm now just going to do this really tiny bit of York. And just go, greedy's fine, Holly. So you could literally just have one area in York where you go, right, I'm going to be the queen of or king of that particular area in York. And they are going to get marketing material from me every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks. My social media is based in that area. Every video I do in that is in that area. I sponsor events in that local area. I am local area, local area, local area. So that is option number 1. So that is sort of no extra work than what you're doing at the moment. You're just zooming in on an area massively. Option 2 is that we do more marketing. So the 3 options we've got at the next stage are more, better, or new. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, we know that door knocking works well for us as an easy example. And we know that currently every 10 doors we knock on, we get 1 market appraisal off the back of it. Okay, so the way of doing more of that is let's just do 20, because we can do 20 and therefore we'll get 2 market appraisals off the back of that 20 if we keep the conversion going exactly the same. The next stage from that is, can we improve our conversion? So can we go from 1 in 10 to 1 in 9 or 1 in 7 or 1 in 6 and get better? The last thing we want to do is anything new. So someone posted on one of their questions for this event saying, I would like to have some new marketing techniques to get out to the public. New is the last thing you want to do. New takes time, effort, and money. If you came to me today and said, Chris, can you start doing TikTok ads? I'd be like, here we go. I need to watch about 15 videos on how to produce TikTok, what TikTok even is, what needs to be in it, the script, the filming, the whatever else it may be. Whereas if you say to me, Chris, go and do more door knocking, I can do that. No problem at all. So more, better, new. New is a last resort on that side of things. So we know we can do smaller area. That's a good way to go with it. But also we can get more marketing out in that core area as well. The one thing that always amazes me, unfortunately, in business is the amount of marketing you need to get out to get recognized. Unfortunately, it's a lot more than you think. Because for you, your business is 50% of your life, 75% of your life, whatever it may be. To the public, you are 0.00001% of their life, if you're lucky. So you really need to get your elbows out on that side of things. Right, so pens at the ready. I'm going to give you guys a list of a load of different types of marketing techniques you should be doing in your business on a day in, day out basis. So if you can write down all of those. Should be able to see those. Holly, can you nod if you can see those? I can see you, Holly. So yeah, perfect. Thank you. Good nodding. Excellent. So these are some things you should be doing in your business or could be doing in your business to generate cold leads in from day one. So we've got engaging in local Facebook groups. So that is basically the group where everyone complains about the bins not being taken out, putting comments in there. You've got organic social media, so just posting on a regular basis. You've got generic leaflets. You've got for sale in your area, sold in your area, completed in your area. You've got VIP letters. So basically, I've got Mrs. Price who's looking for a family home in so-and-so development and she wants to move in before Christmas. You've got general withdrawn letters, which are just a letter that says, you used to be on the market, fancy coming back on again. Not very clever on that side. You've then got specific withdrawn letters. And specific withdrawn letters are, I've got Mrs. Price who's seen the old details of your property, really likes the look of it, and would like to view your home if you're up for it. So a little bit more work on the front end because you need to find the person to do it for and you need to find those properties as well. But actually the result is a lot better. In fact, it's about 10 times the conversions. That's a good place to be. You've got door knocking. You've got some sort of webinar stroke social media live event. You've got drop-in sessions. So come and see Holly on the first Tuesday of every month in Costa Coffee. You've got paid social media ads, interviews with local businesses. Good one for you down there. You've got pay-per-click. You've got referrals and networking, contacting old clients, and you've got email campaigns. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Right. What I would like you all to do, this is not what you do currently. What I'd like you to do is to write next to each one of those bits of marketing, how often the top performing, most amazing estate agency offices in the UK do those tasks. So if you were the top person at whatever top office it might be, and you were the boss of it, how often would each of those tasks take place? So how often does the top office post on social media, for example? How often does the top office send their staff out door knocking? So put down either daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. You can just do the first letter if you like. So you could do D, W, F, M, Q, Y. And then someone who's on camera, give me a nod when you finish putting those on there. So your jobs are daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. Or in fact, if you think they don't ever do it, you might go, actually, they never do that door knocking stuff. You can put an N next to it if you like, but I guarantee they do. All done, Scott? There you go. Fastest writer in Basingstoke. Right. Excellent. So once you've done that, we now need to kind of assess about where you guys are at the moment. So what you're doing at the moment. So you should have, I know, social media, D for daily, I'd imagine is the most common answer there. Write down next to that how often you're doing it currently. So you might go, right, I've done, the top office does it daily, but actually I only do it once a week. Or actually I do it once every fortnight or whatever it may be. I'm sure lots of you do it more often than that. And then final bit of this is basically mark your homework. So if you've got two matching letters, don't laugh at that bit, Holly. There's supposed to be a serious face in this bit. So if you've got two matching letters, so let's say you got like daily, for example, for social media, great, give yourself a big fat tick. If you've got actually the top office does it daily, but I'm doing it every week, give yourself a cross. Now, before everyone totals this up and wants to jump out of a window, I shouldn't be very transparent here. This is designed to be a positive exercise. Because what I mean by that, if you came to me and said, Chris, I want some more leads in my business, and you're like, I'm doing absolutely everything under the sun and I'm not getting any more leads in the business, we've got a bigger issue. Whereas if you look at that and go, actually, I'm getting 5 properties a month to come on the market with myself at the moment, and I'm doing 20% of what I can be doing. Great. Okay, well, there's an easy answer. Let's just do that extra 80% that we've highlighted as something we can do, and then we'll be away. So, Holly, how bad was it?
Um, Pretty bad, if I'm honest. I thought I was quite good with certain bits and bobs, and then going through what I assume that top estate agencies do. Literally, I don't do like hardly any of it, bar the social media. So this is quite an eye opener for me, definitely.
Sure. So, what we're going to end up with, so what was on your daily jobs?
Socials.
Sure.
So social media, paid socials, referrals, old clients, or yeah, and that's pretty much it, which is
Sure.
pretty shocking, really. Well, it's not, but it's an opportunity, Chris. It's an opportunity.
Exactly. Exactly. You're coming to me saying, "Oh, Chris, I can't lose weight," and I'm like, "Well, Holly, you only go to the gym once every 6 months. Let's start there and kind of go from there, sort of thing." So it's the only way is up, effectively, on that side of things. Louise, you are next to Holly, so therefore you've been given the kiss of death by default there. How did you score on that?
Very similar to Holly, she'll be pleased to know. So, cold comfort there, Holly. I'm an absolute dream when it comes to socials. It's my happy place, it's my comfort zone. And I do get quite a lot of, you know, work and engagement from that side of things. So, I know that that's somewhere my comfort zone I lean to. And the other one's the referrals and networking, which again is something else I love doing and being with people. So, because they're easy, I've got no issues doing them. And I guess actually I think I'm better than the competition on that locally,
Yep.
on those two areas. But then you can't pay me to door knock. I mean, I've tried. It's like it's horrific. I just
Yep.
cannot stand it. But I have started doing the leafleting on the back of our last catch up, and I have started looking into doing a bit more with previous clients. So
Yep.
I definitely room for improvement.
No, absolutely fine. I'd be amazed if there wasn't across the board for anything you do in this situation. So, you mentioned things like door knocking there, and that's usually the one that gets the biggest sort of pushback. This is no way me saying you have to go door knocking. If you go, Chris, I don't enjoy doing it, fine, we'll find something else to do, sort of thing. So it's not like this is absolutely the way to do it, sort of thing. There are other options out there, sort of thing, that are available. Right, any volunteers to go last but not least? Yeah, well done, Tony. Straight up with your hand up there. So how do you look?
Okay. Yeah. It's basically we do, or I do, engaging in local Facebook groups. We've actually got our own one actually, which we post into it every single day.
Brilliant.
One's got nearly 2,000 people on that.
Awesome.
Organic social media and paid social media ads as well. And
Yeah,
that's
cool.
pretty much it.
We've done leaflets.
We have, oh yeah, I mean, we have done leaflets. We have done.
It's not,
but it's not consistent.
Yeah,
and you know, we do it for a little bit. I think what prohibited us, I think we were using a platform to send them out.
Yep.
But all the other agents were doing it as well, and ours just got lost in the noise, and it was costing money. So we basically knocked it on the head.
Yep.
But I think from social media, video is the key.
Yep. No, I absolutely agree with that. Good. Excellent. Thank you very much. So what you should have effectively ended up with there is a list of 5 different lists I would have looked at. So you've got your daily list. So great, that's your daily tasks. Great, that goes into your digital diary every day, strangely enough, and repeats every day. That might be post on social media and do whatever else it might be. You can have your weekly tasks. Again, that should just repeat in your diary every week. Monthly tasks, quarterly tasks, and you might have one yearly task, which might be do the Christmas giveaway. Great, that's absolutely fine. Repeats every December, away we go, sort of thing. So that needs to go straightly converted into your diary going forward. And then the hard bit is sticking to it. Because effectively what we're setting out today is kind of like a personal training program, which is fine, but it's a piece of paper. If you don't do anything about it, then that's it. We're all in trouble, sort of thing. Any questions off the back of anything we've covered so far? All good? Thumbs up?
Yeah, I just noticed when you were going through that, Chris, like that, I think all my marketing is on social media as such and blogs. And I think it was an eye opener for me, you know, of the other options available. So I suppose we don't do a lot of leaflet drops here. You know, they just don't see, people get annoyed with them here. But I'd like to explore other areas, maybe print media, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's time to open my eyes a bit.
Yeah, and where you want to get to, and this sounds very flippant with my answer here, where you want to get to is the point where people actually do start complaining about your marketing. And that sounds very glass half empty, but obviously we've talked already that there's 12 estate agents in town, they can only name 3. Well, actually, if you've got people phoning up saying, look, I've had so much of your marketing, please can you stop sending it to me? I've got no intention of moving, please stop sending me letters, sort of thing. Great. Phone me up, I'll say well done, because that's exactly where your marketing needs to be. At least they know who you are in that situation. Before, you were 1 in 4 chance of actually even being known, full stop, let alone liked and trusted. So that's where your level of marketing needs to be in your business. So take those daily jobs, weekly jobs, fortnightly jobs, etc., and then put that through into digital diary, and then you need to follow that as much as you possibly can do.
And what would you recommend besides social media?
What, for daily jobs or for
lead generation?
Yeah, so all of those, everything on that list, you should be doing. So if I did a survey of the room here and said, how do you guys know me, for example, some of you might go, oh, I've met you at a conference, or I've seen you on LinkedIn, or I've seen you on Facebook, or I've read your book, or I've listened to your podcast, or I don't mind where it comes from. So therefore we need to do everything across the board. So we're kind of hedging our bets here to start off with. But what I would hope and expect you guys to do in about 3 months' time is to take a step back and go, right, what's working, what's not working? Great, well, that leaflet stuff's been amazing, let's keep doing that. Or that door knocking stuff's been terrible, let's stop doing that sort of thing. So refine it down, because we don't want you guys spending your money on things that don't work for your business, basically. Tony?
Yeah, obviously with all those points in organic social media leaflets, is there a rule of thumb as to how often you should do it? Obviously we're doing daily Facebook posts and social media posts, but then obviously things like door knocking, you wouldn't do that probably every day, or leafleting, you wouldn't do that every day. So is there sort of like a rule of thumb as to frequency of when you should be doing these things relating to these points?
Yeah, really good question. So generally speaking, if I was any property in your core area, I should get something from you every 3 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks is kind of the magic window there. Anything more than that, I would probably need to be on the market to get kind of that level of attention. When it comes to social media, just more the better, basically. So little behind the scenes here, I had a video call with Chris Watkins for the podcast a while ago, and Chris Watkins said, oh, I post 3 times a day on social media. And I was like, God, I'm sat over here only posting once a day. I'm like chimpy at this sort of thing. So actually I've been doubled the amount of times I'm posting on social media at the moment, as if by magic, my exposure is more than doubled online. So that's just from doubling up. So that's kind of that more better sort of approach. So social media wise, go nuts. There almost is no limit on that side of things. But with regards to sort of in-person contact, 3 to 4 weeks is about what you should be looking for. And if you've got your core area, you should basically be doing a lap of that every 3 to 4 weeks. That's kind of where you're looking for. If you're finding that you can actually do more than that, great. You can afford to have some more houses in it if you can do that in 3 and 4 weeks. If you can't go around them in 3 to 4 weeks, then actually you make it a bit smaller. So that's where we need to get to. But anything more than 3 or 4 weeks, people forget they've got any marketing from you. They'll just forget about you completely.
Grace, what is an ideal area to market? How many households are you speaking about?
About 5,000. 5,000 per full-time member of staff. So if you've got a team and there's 2 of you, for example, or 3 of you, you can kind of do 15,000. But for if you were kind of a 1-person band sat here today, about 5,000 households is the right sort of number you should be looking at. And you should be doing a bit of research before you pick your 5,000 households to make sure there's enough properties coming on the market in that area, they're selling, you're not just, it's not just a field or anything like that at all. It actually is a decent area for you to go after. So do a bit of research before you select your area, do a bit of research beforehand to make sure it's the right one for you, and then you can kind of go from there. Good, all right. So in your estate agency business, let's go for the lowest hanging fruit. So lowest hanging fruit you guys have all got today in front of you is your available stock. So that is your for sale stock, under offer stock, etc. So goes without saying, you need to optimize the presentation for that, the pricing of it, all that sort of stuff. So that is probably a webinar in itself. So we're probably going to put that to one side for today. Otherwise, I'll be on here for about 4 hours. So lowest hanging fruit is your stock available at the moment. The next lowest hanging fruit from that is leveraging your current available stock. So that is your for sale stock, your under offer and completion stock. So question for you all. There's no right or wrong answer here. Who sees himself as an estate agent and who sees himself as the owner of an estate agency business? Starting shift a little, both, okay. Yeah, so Holly, as you, for example, as you bring team members on, you're kind of coming more and more back from the front line effectively. So ultimately, you are both. But as we talked about earlier on today, you're all really good at the estate agency stuff. There's no real sort of massive gains to be made there, apart from nips and tucks here and there. But your sort of estate agency boss isn't doing what they should be doing necessarily. Who has had a McDonald's here ever? Wave your hands frantically. So they taste the same no matter where you go in the world. You go to Australia, they taste the same. You go to Singapore, not that I would do this, obviously, I'm far more cultured than that, but I'd obviously eat the local cuisine. But you go anywhere around the world and it all tastes exactly the same. If you go and look at the average staff age of a member of staff at McDonald's, they're what? 18, 19, 20 if they're unlucky? So how come these 18, 19 and 20-year-olds can produce a burger that tastes exactly the same, just as good, whether it's in Aberdeen or in Timbuktu?
It's the process.
Bang on. It's the systems and the processes that have been set up by that company as a whole to say, burgers go in for this amount of time, fries go in for this amount of time, it's this amount of salt, then you do this, 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 and this. You don't need to be that clever to run it because the systems and processes are there to support you on that side of things. That is how I'd like you to view your business. I would like you to view your business as if you are going to franchise it at some point in the future. And your new franchisee, your very first franchisee, is an idiot. Don't bring on an idiot franchisee, but they are going to be an idiot. And you need to go to them. Welcome to the business. Here is Scott's Bible about how to be an estate agent around Basingstoke. Merry Christmas. You're working and launching in York. Merry Christmas. This is Holly's guide to being an estate agent in my business. And anybody, including me, could walk into your office and go, right, great, Holly just got a new listing today. Right, what happens next? This, 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 this. I've sold a property. What happens next? This, 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 this. I've completed the property. This, 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 this. Because if we're looking at your sales funnel of your business, every time you list and sell a property, you are taking things out of your sales funnel. Who here struggles with good months, bad months, good months, bad months? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think, Louise, I think you put on your question saying consistent leads, I think was the main thing. And the reason you've got an issue with consistent leads is that when you list or sell a property, you aren't then refilling your sales funnel. So what you're doing is basically emptying your sales funnel week in, week out, then going, oh crap, I've got no instructions, nothing to sell. Panic, I need to go leaflet dropping, door knocking, social media stuff, etc. to then refill it. Then it happens all over again. It's ups and downs and it's a stressful life for you. So if you think about it, every time we sell a property, what we've basically done there is we've used up 2 instructions because half your instructions aren't going to sell, roughly speaking. So we've used up 2 instructions and we've used up 4 market appraisals. Because that 4 market appraisals with 2 instructions was 1 sale. So on a basic level, if you're not generating 4 market appraisals of every property you sell, your business is going backwards. If you get 3 market appraisals, your business has shrunk. If you get 5, your business has grown. This is why the process you have for your business should be largely based around getting more stock on the market. Because I'm sure you all do great photographs and floor plans and video tours, potentially all that sort of stuff for your listings. That's great. But the test of it is always, if I knocked on a house next door to the property you got for sale, what do they know about you selling next door? And if your first answer is, I've got a board up, there's probably some more to do there. So there's loads and loads of things we can do to leverage that property, even at the for sale stage. And I recommend you do this as much as you possibly can do. What we're trying to do with your estate agency business is move from what I would call chapter 1 marketing to chapter 2 marketing. Chapter 1 marketing is Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have a market appraisal? That's literally it. Please, I'm in your area. Can I have a market appraisal? That's it. Not very good conversion. Chapter 2 is I've listed a property, I've sold a property, I completed a property, I've got buyers looking in your area, you used to be on the market, I've shown buyers your details. It's kind of, I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt. If you're launching your business today, you want to get on that chapter 2 as soon as you possibly can do. And if you've got anywhere more than 3, 4, 5 properties for sale or under offer at the moment, you probably never need to go back, because you've got enough marketing around those properties that you can leverage them as much as possible. So thinking out loud here, if you listed a property today, you've probably got 3 social media videos off the back of it. Should probably ask Holly, she probably does more than that, I'd imagine. If we get 3 social media videos off the back of a property coming on the market, you've got local leaflets in the local area to say I've got a property listed in the local area. You've got writing to people who used to be on the market in the local area to say, just to let you know, we've listed a property in your street. No, you're on the market last year. It might sell. We might have buyers for you. Anyone who views that property, you've got VIP letters in that local area. What else? You've got, you're asking for the vendor for a review. That also becomes social media content as well. So you can see there's all these steps to go through just around listing a property, but all of them are based around getting you more instructions on the back of it. It's all based around finding those 4 market appraisals plus that we need to do to make sure your business keeps flowing and keeps growing over time. So what we need to do is put a structure in place to say, I list the property here. By the time it finishes, it gets to here, I hand over keys, they go onto my future nurturing campaign. These are all the steps between the 2. And the true test of this, or 2 true tests of this, are A, if I spoke to that next door neighbour next door, they're like, oh, bloody hell, yeah, do I know about Scott selling that house next door? I've seen him outside about 15 times. He's done about 20 viewings there. I've got a leaflet to my front door and he's selling in my property. I've got a leaflet saying he's got a buyer who wants to buy a property in my garage. I went in social media the other day, saw 3 videos about my property the other day. Absolutely, they know that you are selling in that local area. That is when your marketing touch points basically go on steroids. So anybody in your core area should get a decent amount of marketing, but heaven forbid you're selling my next door neighbour's house, because I'm going to be sick of the sight of you. So who has that structure in their business at the moment? You're not supposed to laugh at that bit, Holly. I recommend you do. Even if you're, especially if you're looking to grow the business, if you're looking to bring staff on board, associates, make it a franchise, anything like that, way, shape or form, you need to have a proven formula for your business about why it works. And let's call it Holly's way of doing it, or Louise's way of doing it, or Magella's way of doing it. This is my Bible way of doing it. You just need to repeat that. All we need from yourself is you to repeat the stages in that from start to finish, and you will get this result off the back. Because the whole point of buying a franchise is it's a proven formula. You guys are all on the video call today. You've all got a proven formula. You just need to replicate it. But it needs to be in black and white. It could be a spreadsheet, whiteboard, whatever it may be. But if you're running your business as if you are going to franchise it out, and your first franchisee is an idiot, unfortunately. Good. Right. Any questions on anything we've covered so far? Good. Cool. Right. So let's talk about overpricing, and well, let's start about overpricing, shall we? Let's start there. So who struggles with other agents overpricing in their town? Tom, straight up. Oh, everyone's struggling with it. Cool. Okay. Who wants to come off mute and tell us how bad it is?
It's bad. It's bad. So there is a specific agent in our area who is very vocal about being York's #1 selling agent. So they do get the most stock. They've got the most properties. They've got the most boards out there. They're always #1, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But a lot of people that I go and see, sometimes I don't come up against them that often, but if I do or start to discuss general how it's going in the market, somebody will tell me they are overpricing. Like the public will tell me they are overpricing. And you know, I go to a lot of valuations, and there will always be somebody that goes, I think they overprice, I think they underprice. It's all subjective, but yeah, we're talking like £50,000 over asking price and reducing within the first week, 2 weeks. So yeah, it's not good.
Okay, fine. So there's 2 bits to it in my mind. So one bit is the logical part of it. So you should have all received, I would imagine, the email from myself last week about the price reduction side of things and all the stats about how bad it is to drop prices down and how it kind of cripples it. If you haven't, just put yes please in the chat, and as if by magic you'll get forwarded that email. It's got loads of stats about saying basically how you're screwed if you do bad price reductions at the wrong time and not enough and whatever else it might be. Lots of yeses, so that'll be coming out fairly soon. Good. So that is Sinead. On a side note, can you just jot those down, please? So that is part number one. So there's the logical part of it. So, and what I would do is I'd probably sign up for GetAgent, not necessarily to use GetAgent, but GetAgent have a good dashboard. It's free of charge to do, by the way. So sign up for GetAgent and use their dashboard, and it will show your average selling time and your average potential asking price as well. So good stats to have. If they're terrible, don't have to use them. If they're good, you can use them. So that's a good thing to start off with. So that's the logical side of things, which if you look at studies about how people make decisions, 19 out of 20 are made illogically, and about 1 in every 20 are made logically. So if you're with that 1 out of 20 people, you can sit down with them and say, Mr. Jones, who works in IT, here's a logical argument for you. This is all the stats against it, sort of thing. Then that's a good place to go down. But unfortunately, as humans, what we generally do is make a logical decision, just kind of monkey brain makes it up sort of thing, and then we justify it with logic. So we go, oh, I saw that high figure, ding, 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 monkey brain kind of goes off sort of thing. Oh yeah, I really like that other agent. They were really good because X, Y, and Z reason. So if we're trying to fight fire with fire in this situation, we can't come forward and say, it's 2% this and 3% that, and this is what you'll lose, etc. Because people just don't understand that. You need to make it an emotional conversation. The best way to make an emotional conversation is by telling a story. So as humans, we weren't sat around the campfire 100,000 years ago saying, Dave, if you go in that cave over there, there's a 77% chance you'll die. That's not how we work. We go, Dave went in that cave last week. He got his head ripped off by a bear. I wouldn't go in there. So people benefit from stories. So in those situations, when you get any kind of overvaluing, don't try and go down the route of here's the facts for it, because chances are it's going to go in one ear and out the other. What you're far better off doing is saying, look, Mrs. Jones, I understand what you're saying about the pricing of the property. I had Mrs. Taylor 2 weeks ago who was in exactly the same situation as you. This is what she felt, this is what she found, and this is what the end result is. You can make that both positive and negative. So she came on me at the right price, she sold really quickly, and she got her dream home. But actually, as humans, we're wired to fear loss more than we are gain. So if you lost £100 today, you'd need to gain £200 to feel in the same position again, which is really weird. So therefore, you're far better off by saying to people, actually, this is what they did, and this is how it went horribly wrong, and therefore I don't want you to be in that position as well. So that is absolutely categorical the way you should do it. Tell people stories. Being in sales is about telling stories. So if you don't have those stories already, find them. And I imagine being an estate agent for more than 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have a good few amount of those stories going through. So the last property that overvalued and didn't sell and hung around on the market, tell their story. And they missed out on X, Y, and Z, and this is the problem they have on there. Good. Any questions on that at all, Holly, specifically? Because obviously that was kind of aimed in your direction.
No, all good. I think, yeah, I completely agree with the whole storytelling thing. I have a very specific one that I tell probably like 9 out of 10 clients, and it's all about value perception is what I tell clients about buyers and things. So that works really, really well. But yeah, I definitely agree with that storytelling. It brings that emotion to the forefront, really.
Good. So the other part of this is, I know the expression is let's fight fire with fire, but actually you're far better off fighting fire with water. It actually works out a lot better for your house. So if you go to somebody comes to the front door and goes, we are the market leader, we sell the most houses, for example. If you then walk to the front door and try and have exactly the same conversation, no, we sell the most houses, you are trying to fight fire with fire. What you're far better off is saying, that's really great, they sell 200 houses a week or year or per month effectively. We don't do that. Actually, what we are is a far more bespoke, unique estate agent. At any one time, I'll only ever work with 20 people. And this is why I work with 20 people. I want to make sure you get as much money, service, experience, as much as we possibly can do. This is probably your most expensive assets. Therefore, we want to make sure we maximize everything for you. And this is why we do it with these numbers. Suddenly, as soon as the market leader comes on board and goes, we sell 100 properties a month and we've sold 10 in this street already, actually, they're digging their own grave because they're saying big numbers, big numbers, big numbers. And you've said to them, I don't want big numbers, because big numbers means you are one of 200. How good do you think your customer service is going to be? How good is your customer experience going to be? Do they even know who you are when you pick up the phone? Or come with me and be 1 of 20. So if you've ever got this, the thing I'm not a fan of is when people use the expression market leader. Because the market leader sounds like they lead in selling properties, listing property. I'm the leader in Facebook. I'm the leader in marketing. I'm the leader in this. They're not. They've got the most houses for sale. That's it. So that is all they've got going for them. They've got the most houses for sale. They've got most houses under offer potentially. So if you go forward and try and sort of measure them out in that situation, you're probably not going to win on that side of things. Whereas if you come forward and say, actually, yeah, great, they've got 200 houses for sale and 200 houses under offer, that's absolutely fine and well done them, but we don't operate in that way. This is exactly how we operate on our side of things. Is anybody using that sort of approach at the moment? Holly, you're nodding. Magella, very well done. Excellent. Excellent. Very, very good. Welcome, Petros. Thanks for joining. Right. So what else have we got? Fees. Let's talk about money. So, full disclosure, this is a safe place. Put how much you charge in the chat at the moment as a percentage. And I'm not going to shout it out because obviously this is being recorded and I don't think people who watch the video back can see the chat, so it's completely confidential as far as I'm concerned. What's the most competitive jobs market in the UK? Not a trick question. So Dan, we haven't heard from you much today, Dan. Where's the most competitive jobs market in the UK?
Where or what?
What bracket of salary is the most competitive?
In terms of amount, you mean?
So if you want to get a job, where you can have the most competition?
I don't understand. Sorry.
Fine. That's fine. Sorry, my bad phrasing. The busiest part is going to be, bang on, Magella, the lower end. So if you wanted a job in Lidl, Tesco's, whatever it may be.
So you mean like retail or something?
Yeah, you're competing against everybody because
Okay.
the bar of entry for those sort of jobs is, have you got a pulse and can you scan across till? Great, when you can start on Monday.
Fair enough. Yeah.
How competitive is it for the job of being the CEO of Coca-Cola? You might be one of you might be one
Not
of three
many.
people. Yeah, one of three people, and they went, right, you used to be CEO of Pepsi, used to be CEO of McDonald's, and whatever else it might be, you're on that shortlist. So what we're looking at that situation is actually, we don't want to be at this bottom end. We don't want to be where everyone else is charging because we are just thrown into the pot with everyone else, and they're like, oh, you're just another 1% estate agent. Oh, you're just another 1.25% estate agent.
Yeah.
You should have a moat for yourself for what you do in your business that justifies your fee. Now, people care about themselves. People don't care about you in any way, shape, or form. Marketing lesson number 1: no one gives a monkeys. You do professional photographs. No one cares about your floor plans. No one cares about your video tours. Anything like that in any way, shape, or form. What they care about is how that affects their life and affects them. So I could come forward and go, I do professional photographs. Who gives a monkeys? But if I come forward and go, well, I do professional photographs on your property, Mr. Webb, the reason why we do that is because actually studies show that the average property actually gets 2% more than other properties by having professional photographs. So what that means to you is that by me having professional photographs, actually that's an extra £6,000 on the property price. Great. Suddenly I've gone from not giving a monkeys about professional photographs in any way, shape or form to now I see £6,000 in front of me, which I absolutely understand and I see that as a tangible thing. So the mistake that lots of people make is that they, instead of just turning up and listing USP after USP, why should anyone care about it? So we need to make ourselves be in a position where we are different from the competition, because the public all think all estate agents are exactly the same. I know you're not. I know you guys do a brilliant job, and the fact you're on this video call today means you are different. So therefore, what we want to do is make yourself stand out as much as you possibly can do to show how you are different, but fee is also going to help you out that side of things. Magella, where can you get those stats? Is in my book. Is that a shameless plug? So just download the free PDF, Magella, off my website, and then if you just search for it, you can just search a PDF for the stats effectively. You're more than welcome. So I did try and send you 2 copies actually, but Brexit unfortunately returned them both to me, which was fantastic. Good, right. The biggest thing, so training aside and all this sort of stuff aside, the biggest factor between you guys charging a normal fee and a decent fee, it's all up here. The biggest changes that anybody's had with regard to fee is I've called them one day and they've gone, Chris, I'm changing my fee. I'm no longer a 1% estate agent. I'm now 1.5% estate agent. And I've gone, okay, cool. Why is that? And they've gone, I've just had enough. I deserve more. I should charge more. I rightly should charge more. So therefore, I'm now 1.5% estate. I've had enough. And that is the biggest thing for anybody changing their fee. So Holly, do you want to come off mute and tell us about your experience? Because we had this conversation about 3 weeks ago.
We did. I think we've had this conversation a few times. So yeah, I think that actually, yeah, we've had this conversation about charging more, and yeah, I think that a lot of people, maybe it's just me, but a lot of people have the fear of then losing instructions to people that you really want, and then they've gone with somebody because maybe it's a lower fee or whatever. So you instinctively go, oh, this is what my fee is, where actually you think I should have probably charged more. Example, went to a property today, and I happened to see the other two estate agent's fees on his kitchen table, and I was slap bang in the middle. And I came away from that thinking I should have charged more, because I know that other agent that has charged the higher, they don't do things like we do, and this is why. But it's the fear of actually doing it. Now, before we had the conversation, I was charging, say, I don't know, I started 1%, then I went to say 1.2, I went up to 1.25, I've gone down again to 1.2, then I went up to 1.4. It's just not consistent, and I think it's the fear and the probably the fear of rejection that we all get as salespeople. We worry and we fear that we're not gonna be liked or get the deal, so therefore we kind of go backwards. So yeah, I need to sort my fee out again, Chris. Sorry.
That's fine, no problem at all. So everybody likes to be liked, and no one likes people saying no to them. That's fine. That's absolutely completely human sort of thing. So answer in the chat, what's the number one goal of your business? Yep, make money. To make money, make money. Consistent theme here. To make money, earn more money. Everyone said money. Live a life and lifestyle, that would help. Be profitable, make money. Okay, so we're in business to make money. We aren't here necessarily to make friends, but if we do make friends, that's great. That's a really good experience. But ultimately, your business is here to make money for yourselves. So that doesn't necessarily mean we have to work with every single person. I would actually say that unless people, meet with your expectations with regard to value, fee, and they're not a pain in the ass, great, they can be a client. But any of those three are kind of ticked off, and you think, actually, this guy seems like an absolute nightmare, and they want 1%. Okay, best of luck. See you later. Goodbye. But it's having that confidence in yourself and the business to kind of make sure you can follow up with that. So if the goal is to make money, we need to make sure the ones we do get on the market that do fit with ourselves, we're getting paid as much as we should do for it to make sure that works for ourselves. Otherwise, no one put in the chat, my goal is to be the market leader or to have 200 houses for sale, for example, and being running ragged sort of thing. If you can have half the amount on and earn twice the amount, thanks very much, let's take it. So that's a really good way of going. When was the last time anyone got any feedback from their market appraisals? Not from themselves. So you didn't phone a market appraisal and say, hi, how you doing? I came to see you last week. Do you want to come on the market with me, yes or no? When was the last time anybody phoned any of your market appraisals and said, hi, I'm phoning from head office. Scott came to see you last week and came to value your property. What do you think of Scott? This is something I would most definitely recommend doing sooner rather than later. Don't do it yourself. If you're a lone one-person band, for example, so Scott, you might speak to Mrs. Scott, for example, and say, do me a favor, congratulations, I'm giving you a promotion to head of customer services at Scott Morland Estate Agents. They're going to phone up and I would give them a list of questions you want to find out from that phone call. And it might be, what do you think of Scott's presentation? What do you think about Scott's price? What do you think about the fee? Anything we can improve at all? If they did go on the market with another agent, final question should always be, if it doesn't work out with Connells, would you come over to Scott effectively? That is going to be straight talking feedback you can action in your business straight away. So about 10% of the people in the world pick their estate agent based on fee. Talk to a room full of estate agents, it's like 50, 60, 70%, etc. Because everyone phones up for feedback and they're like, it was really close, Scott, mate. Yeah, they just done me a deal on the fee. They did 0.9%. Wasn't you, it was the fee, all this sort of stuff. I'm sure it's not you, Scott. No, I'm picking on you because you're in front of me. So therefore, we're not actually getting the genuine feedback. We're just going, it must be the fee. So those who with Teams, really easy thing to do. So Holly, get Sophie to do it, can phone on your behalf and say, great, phone them customer experience. What do you think about this, 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 and this? After 3, 4, 5 valuations, you'll have a load of feedback you can action straight away in your business. And I'll guarantee what you'll probably find out is that they'll be instructing other agents for reasons you didn't expect. And they'll be saying things that you offer already. Oh, Holly, we didn't instruct you because they're on Rightmove and Zoopla. And you're like, I'm on Rightmove and Zoopla. Just didn't say it. So there'll be things you can take away from it straight away and action in the business straight away. Good. Nicholas, do you have a list of questions documented, or is that in the book? No, I don't, but leave it with me and I'll get some over to you. There you go. That's a good little deal for yourself there. Right. Let me see what else I've got left on my list. Right. The floor is yours, guys. So we have 7 minutes left. I like to run on time pretty where I can. So if there's any other questions that anybody has got or they're struggling with at the moment, Holly, no surprise, hand up straight away. Go on then, Holly. What have you got?
I love the sound of my own voice. So I want to ask, and this is obviously for you not to particularly plug anything, but what systems are people using, or what would you recommend to get data for properties that have fallen through? So I currently use, say, Home Search. I don't think I'm getting the best out of it. That's a separate thing. But actually, what are people using to get the data to send out letters? Because letters is absolutely something that I need to do more of, because it's frustrating when I see a board come up down the street, 2 doors down, and I've sold a property. It's very, very annoying. So, but I know where it's kind of going wrong. So data, where can I find it?
Good. So again, I'm not going to put a plug here. I'm going to give you guys a good deal here. So part of my job is to be as cash positive for the guys I work with as I possibly can do. So part of that is obviously growing the business and all that sort of stuff as well. That's 90% of it. But the other part of it is making sure I get supplier deals for the guys I work with to save as much money as possible. One of those is 20EA. I've still got it on the negotiation side of things, apparently, because I got pulled down an absolute blinder. So for £150, you get all the data for your town for 10 postcode areas forever. Usually it's like that much per month. So £150, that's it, one-off charge, and you get all the data for up to 10 postcode sectors, which is absolutely massive. You won't need that many, don't worry. If you're doing 5,000 households, it's probably 1 or 2. And that is £150 for all that data. And if you want to add some letters on top of that, you can do that as well, but that data is there. So if you want to take advantage of that, just email me and I'll CC in Paul and say, oh yeah, Holly's a client of the Estate and Consultancy. And therefore can give her the discount sort of thing. He's not going to listen to this, he's not going to know, so it's fine. So yeah, so that's there. So they do a really good job. I've had some good feedback on that already. About 6 or 7 of my guys are doing that, and that's a good effect. Tony, that's £150 forever. So that's not even per year, that is literally £150 forever, and that's for all the data for your 10 postcode areas. If you want them to send letters, obviously it's extra cost on that side of things. I think it's like 50p a letter or whatever it is, but for the actual data, 150 quid. So absolute bargain. I was over the moon with that. And it's 20EA, Nicholas, as Tony's written above. So if you want to take advantage of that, just send me a quick message and I will connect you with Paul and he can sort you out on that side of things. Yeah, that's a good deal, wasn't it? Free webinar and discounts. Right, any other questions at all before we wrap it up for today?
I have one actually, Chris.
Go for it, Magella.
Yeah, just how to position yourself for the upper end of the market.
Yep.
Like if you want to target the upper end of the market more specifically.
Yep. So this is all going to be about service, and this is all going to be about the way you present properties. Number one. Now I'm going to put a big but with this. But so you might launch an estate agency business today, and you go, I want to be the high-end estate agent. I'm going to deal with €1 million properties, for example, or whatever the price range is, sort of thing you want to go for. But over time, you find yourself being pulled in a particular direction. So I had this exact conversation with a client yesterday. So historically, Natalie, who I was meeting with, she has dealt with properties between $1 million and $3 million. That's been her core bread and butter. But over the last 6 months to a year or so, she's bought on properties that are kind of 500 grand to about 1.2 million. And they've all been selling. And actually, if we deleted off all the really expensive stuff, her pipeline would look no different whatsoever. It's all that property from 500 grand through to 1.2 million or so. So actually, I had a conversation with her yesterday saying, actually, we're going against the tide here. We're pushing as much as we can for this upper end, but the market is telling us that we are getting traction and people would like us at 500 grand to 1.2 million. So let's double down on that side of things. So absolutely go for the higher end. That's great. But after 6 months to a year or so, unless you're being kind of pulled in the tide in that direction, that's what kind of public going, great, Magella's fantastic at the higher end and that's where we want to be, then go for it. But if you find yourself being pulled in a particular direction and that's where you sit, great, go with it sort of thing. So from, you know, if you even go
like, do you need to adopt your marketing strategies? I know, like, say you need top videos, but to get in there when you don't have a sample of a really nice property to do a really nice video on.
Yep. So your hard bit there is a bit like when you first launch a property. Your hard bit is going to be your first one.
Yeah.
As soon as you can get a showcase property that is on for 2 million euros or whatever it may be, you can then go absolutely to town it, drones and brochures and printed and and that is then sort of your leverage going forward from there.
Yeah.
So you basically need to do whatever you need to do to get that first one over €1 million or whatever the price range is, and then you're off to the races there. I would be willing to bet, Magella, with your connections and your network, if you put a bit of legwork in behind the scenes, you probably know that person already. As you're multi-award winning as well, if that helps. So good. Excellent. Any other questions at all? Good. Stunned in silence. Well, I have one tiny favor. The only thing I'll ask you guys today is, I've put in the chat my Google review link. If you've enjoyed today and you thought actually it was really, really good, give us a quick review on Google. If you thought it was absolutely terrible and 1 star, then don't. So if you don't mind giving us a quick review on that, it'd be great. I'm going to run these every month or so. So I'll probably do the next one mid-ish September, because I'll probably miss out lots of August because everyone's on holiday and whatever else it might be. So I'll probably run another one again in sort of mid-September sort of direction. So if you want to come on that, it's absolutely great. As a word of warning, if you do come on that one, I'm going to be quizzing you to an inch of your life about what you've done since our last video call. So if you come on again and say, I've done nothing, and I'm still in the exact same situation we said last time, Chris, then I'll just say, watch the last video call back and then come back to me in the month after sort of thing. So the fact you've joined in today means you kind of take some action on that side of things. As a final thing, so we talked about feedback. So Sinead, you're not on video at the moment. If you want to come on to video if you are there. So Sinead works alongside myself. She's a head of customer interaction with the estate agent consultancy. She'll be phoning you all tomorrow to say, did you enjoy the webinar? What was good? What was bad? What was ugly? And what can we improve next time? So Sinead is going to give you all a call tomorrow to catch up. But obviously any dramas, I know you've all got my contact details on LinkedIn and WhatsApp and whatever else it may be. So thank you for your time today, guys. It's bang on 2 o'clock and we'll rock and roll from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the welcome, guys. Have a good day. See you soon. See you later.
You.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.